Hello, my friend, and welcome to a new section of this program to help you strengthen and create a great relationship. In the last section, we talked about habit 1, self-responsibility. It's hard to show up in a loving way for your spouse if you don't take responsibility for yourself. Otherwise, what happens is you become either passive and dependent or blaming and controlling. In either case, believing that your well-being is up to your spouse, not you. And that mindset will cause you to be a poor partner. Your marriage deserves somebody who can take responsibility for him or herself. And so now we're moving on to habit 2, which is all about honoring your spouse. Habit 2 states, I honor, cherish, and respect you as a person of dignity and worth. I respect your right to have your own thoughts, feelings, needs, and wants, and to make your own choices. I'm as committed to your happiness and well-being as my own. I actively support you in achieving your goals and living your vision. To me, this means that you have to respect your partner for who he or she is. Each person in a relationship is a unique individual, and you'll only find mature love when you stop trying to change your partner and accept, even embrace them for who they are. The exception to this is somebody who violates your deepest values. I'm not saying that you should accept somebody who has had multiple affairs or someone who's emotionally or physically abusive. This would be a failure to show love and respect for yourself. But assuming your partner does not violate your deepest values, I want to put this principle of honoring and accepting your partner as a worth into the context of the 5 stages of maturation. During the enchantment phase of the relationship, you probably had an idealized image of your partner. Not only did you want to put your best foot forward, but you wanted to see your partner in an ideal and bigger-than-life way. You minimized their blemishes and magnified their good traits. You may have seen your mate as happier, more confident, friendly, thoughtful, intelligent, emotionally resilient than they really are. Or you may have seen them more for who they are, but thought that it really didn't matter. Over time, it became impossible, however, for you and your partner to maintain your what would I call it, a Prince Charming and Cinderella image. And you eventually began to see each other more realistically. Well, at this point, you could either be disillusioned and unhappy, or you may have learned to accept one another more realistically and honor the person you married and not just an image. If you became trapped in the stage of disillusionment because you weren't able to accept your partner, you weren't able to give up your fantasized version of your spouse, you've probably been acting it out through disappointment and blame and punishment. And some people stay trapped in a kind of a love-hate relationship for a long time, vacillating between the feelings of enchantment on the one hand and disillusionment on the other hand, always believing that their happiness is their spouse's fault and their spouse needs to change, or I should say their unhappiness is their spouse's fault. Well, those in the stage of obligation have given up their idealized illusions, but one or both have been unable to work through disappointments and so have distanced and decided to live a polite, albeit unhappy coexistence. They've settled for a peaceful life, a functional and yet unfulfilling relationship. Well, in order to move to friendship and mature love, it's necessary to accept and honor your partner for who he or she is by releasing judgments and negative feelings and even canceling out the negative effects of some acts or conditions, which will open up the space for more peace and enjoyment and love. This is making a decision to enjoy the relationship you're in rather than holding on to a belief that your partner somehow has to be different. I want to share a couple of analogies that illustrate the concept that I'm talking about. In fact, I brought a little prop with me. Here it is. This is my office chair. Let me put it down. You can see that it's a pretty simple design. It's sleek. It's comfortable for me. It rolls easily. It has an adjustable seat. I really like it. But I have to tell you that my relationship with my chair works when I allow it to be what it is. If I expect my chair to be different, then I'm going to be frustrated. Suppose I think my chair should have padded arms or a footstool and recline. Or suppose I want to turn it into a toy that I can ride around the streets, hook a rope to my wife's bike and let her pull me around the neighborhood. Well, even if she could do that, it wouldn't work. It's not a scooter, it's not a skateboard, it's a chair. And I'm going to be frustrated if I expect it to be something other than what it is. And by the way, the frustration is not a function of the chair, but rather my expectations. My relationship with my chair works when I accept and enjoy it for what it is. Here's another metaphor, and that is a peach. A peach is a peach. It isn't an apple, orange, or avocado. What doesn't work is to try to turn a peach into an apple, and we sometimes try to do that. You know, we do that to our spouses by controlling and lecturing and criticizing and blaming and so on. The truth is, if your spouse is a peach, then he or she is going to suck at being an apple. And then you're going to be angry and upset that she or he isn't a good apple. And how messed up is that? The truth is, a peach is a peach, and you're not going to enjoy it until you accept it for what it is. Once you accept your partner as a peach, you're going to love him or her at a much deeper level. Life is going to feel easier. So why not get to know and value your spouse as a peach? Well, I hope that you can see how this works in a relationship. There are some givens about the person that you're in your relationship with, and I don't mean to imply by that people can't change. They can change, but only so much, only within certain givens. And so it's better to enjoy the sweetness, the juiciness of a peach, rather than trying to get your peach to be an apple. That's like beating your head against a wall. So in the remainder of this section of the program, I'm going to be giving you some tools to learn to appreciate and honor your partner and thereby get more enjoyment out of your relationship.